So happy March, happy spring, everyone.
Spring. Today's spring.
It's officially spring. Yes, I was out on a little hike yesterday and told my daughter we're going to look for signs of spring. So she pointed out any little flowers, buds, blossoms. She even saw a little butterfly,
Oh my goodness. And the trees also are in bloom.
Yes. I love this time of year. And it's perfect because our theme is open to possibilities. And that's what spring reminds me of, because the possibilities, the newness of everything coming to life and blooming and blossoming. And Reverend Soni kicked off our month talking about the practice of visioning and talking about how we can be open and curious as a way of life, right? When we talked about living in the question. And then last week, we had our Zoom service, which we got to feature a fabulous guest speaker.
Fabulous.
The amazing Reverend Raymond Anderson. And he inspired us as well as entertained us. He was so entertaining. I mean, his voice, just his voice, the resonance of his voice.
Yeah.
Right?
and the beautiful way he does signs.
Yes. And his signing. And so go back and watch those two messages because they are both fabulous. And last week, Reverend Raymond really led us to think about this idea of letting go and how spiritual work really is the process of releasing and letting go. And so we're going to continue this idea of being open to possibilities today. And our topic is with open arms. With open arms, right? And I think about with open arms, it's like that pose of like surrender, of anything is possible, of willingness, right? So we're going to dive into that today. But before we do that, I invite you now just to open your arms, wherever you are. Open your arms and just take a breath and notice how you feel. Just how a simple change in your body posture can create a shift.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's like you're welcoming a hug, too.
Yes.
Love. You're welcoming love.
Oh, yes. So this is the energy that I invite you to take into service today, that openness, that expansiveness, the expectancy of all good flowing through today, and remaining open and curious as we listen with both our inner and our outer ears. So kick us off, Reverend Soni.
I will. Thank you. You know, we believe in Science of Mind in the direct revelation of truth through intuitive and our spiritual nature, and that anyone can become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. As individualized expressions of the one infinite reality, we have access to the infinite wisdom and intelligence of the ultimate reality of the truth. It flows through us and as us to the degree, and this is the important part, to the degree that we set our previous ideas aside and become aware and conscious of the impress of universal spirit. Direct revelation, as I said, is available through our intuition and can be intentionally cultivated through visioning. Because all month we've been talking about visioning, and this is something that really is a practice that Centers for Spiritual Living does every week. Mm-hmm. So, and I believe you're on the visioning team.
I am.
Yes. So always visioning for that highest good. Now, I think there is a story I want to share with you this morning, I think, that illustrates what we're talking about when I talk about the direct revelation. And it's about Abraham. And Abraham, whom we know from the Jewish Bible, was born with the name Avram in the city of Ur in Babylonia. He was the son of Terach, an idol merchant. But from his early childhood, just like you were talking about being curious and remaining open, he questioned the faith of his father and sought the truth. He came to believe that the entire universe was the work of a single creator. And so he began to teach this belief to others, much to the chagrin of his father. But one time, his father went on a trip and left Avram to sell the idols. When a customer would come to the stall, Avram would ask them how old they were, 50, 60, whatever their age was. Whatever they answered, Avram would think to himself, wow, they are this old, and yet they bow down to a one-day-old idol. So one day when Avram was left alone to mind the store, he took a hammer and he smashed all of the idols except the largest one. He placed the hammer in the hand of the largest idol. So when his father returned and asked what had happened, Avram said, the idols got into a big fight and the big idol smashed all the other ones. Typical kid, yes? His father said, don't be ridiculous. These idols have no life or power. If they can't do anything, Avram replied, then why do you worship them? Let your ears hear what your mouth is saying. So here's the deal. Terach had put his power and wealth and faith in a group of idols. But when Avram smashed his illusion, he was forced to admit that they had no power. So when we go to an outside source, putting our faith in that outside entity and replacing God with that source, this is when we get ourselves into a bit of a quandary. We begin to rely on other people, places, and things for our good, for our connection, for our recognition of oneness. When we replace God with idol worship, such as drugs and alcohol and people and places and things, we are no longer open to a higher calling. We are no longer listening to our higher self. We are no longer using our intuition to guide us. I think about it like, a drug dealer on the street, Psst, I got some God here for you, It's like, the truth is that we are not allowing ourselves to discover and uncover the good that is already inherent in who we are. In other words, this spiritual community, Reverend Rainbow and myself, didn't give you anything you didn't already have.
Yep.
You came here with something that needed to be awakened, something that was calling out to be activated, reminding you and all of us of who we really are. We came to Ahava already as divine cosmic beings, a unique individualized expression of cosmic good waiting to express itself. And there is absolutely nothing that the world can give you that can add anything to the thought that God had when God recreated itself in its personal likeness and image and named itself you. You. There's nothing that could be added onto. There cannot and will not ever, this will not ever change. So when you go outside of yourself, not to be reminded of who you are, but to replace who you are, this is when you are no longer living the life that was intended for you to live. And this is where visioning can right the ship, you might say. It's how I get myself back on the right track, the universal track.
Yes. I love that idea of getting back on track, the universal track, because really there is only one track. One mind. And sometimes we get derailed, right? We get derailed, but the visioning process is something that can help us remember who we are. And then using the creative process, we can get back in alignment and back on track, right? Allowing our vision to take hold and lead us and propel us forward. By consciously embracing a new thought or a new idea and then planting it like that seed in that creative soil, the creative medium of our own mind, we are assured this thought, and we plant it in the soil, and we water it with our consciousness and our energy and our intention, and we water it with our focused intention and our beliefs, and then what blooms is exactly that seed that we planted. So that's how we can get back on track and back in alignment, is by consciously choosing that direction that we desire to experience in our life, that which is the track of the one mind, which is love, which is beauty, which is peace, which is wholeness, which is joy, which is, as Lauren read in that reading, that God seed. That God seed that we are. So we're planting these God seeds of potentiality and watering it in our own consciousness in order to then embody that which really we already are.
We already are.
We already are. So instead of using the creative process to just demonstrate or manifest a change condition in our life, what visioning does, when in conjunction with the creative process, visioning allows us to embrace a new way of being. Visioning reminds us of who we truly are. And we don't manifest the vision, rather we attune and align ourselves with becoming the avenues through which it can reveal itself as our lived experiences. We must be willing to become more of our true selves. And it sounds like such an easy idea. It's like, all you have to do is just be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But we sure do put a lot of junk on that and clog up that path, right? We do. But it really is that simple. Envisioning is a process in which we can open up to and ask and listen to that highest good and expression of our lives. And being willing to become more of our true selves, it's already who we are. And we don't need idols, and we don't need anything outside of ourselves to remember who we are. So what do we mean by embracing or embodying? Well, think about when you go to embrace someone or something. We have those arms wide open. It's an act of receptivity.
And trust.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit of vulnerability. There's a willingness in it to receive. And it also implies a level of enthusiasm, right? I know that I am enthusiastically looking forward to getting to hug my loved ones again and getting to embrace each other as we come back physically in this space. And here's the thing, we cannot have or experience what we are unwilling to receive.
Isn't that something?
Wow. We cannot have or experience what we are unwilling to receive. So when we ask, what must I embrace in the visioning process, we're really asking, what must I be receptive to? What must I be receptive to that will bring me into greater alignment with my vision? What possibilities am I open to? What opportunities for growth do I welcome? And what ideas do I invite as those seeds that I am planting in my consciousness? And lastly, what changes do I wrap my arms around and hold lovingly and nurture to serve for my own transformation and continual evolution of consciousness? So embracing an idea is an opening, an expansion in our own awareness. And to embody something goes beyond just the mental or intellectual knowledge of something. Right? That's where we sometimes get stuck. Like, I know it, I can know it, and I can talk to you about it all day.
Yeah.
But do we embody it? Do we embrace it beyond something that we just know intellectually into a deep understanding of it, a lived, embodied understanding? That kind of understanding that we have so assimilated into our consciousness and our awareness that we just know that we know. Embodiment implies something has taken form, that it has manifested or demonstrated. So when we ask in the visioning process, what must I embody? We are asking, what must I know so deeply that it becomes that default, or that becomes my go-to experience? What must I embody? embodying. Perhaps it's love. Perhaps it's embodying peace. Perhaps it's embodying patience.
No, we don't say that.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about patience. That's the P word. No.
So embracing and embodying our activities of expanding our consciousness, our awareness, right? We're embracing and we're embodying, and then becoming, on the other hand, is that act of allowing. So we embrace, we embody, we get back in alignment, we get back on track with these qualities of wholeness, of love, of peace, and then we are willing to become it. Yes, and allowing that which we already are to come forth. Really, it's just getting out of our own way.
And willing is a big step.
It is. It takes simply a little willingness, yet it's not that simple.
No, it isn't. And we talk about it all day, but are we willing to actually get into action and stand in the presence and be in the presence?
Yes. And so when we ask in the visioning process, what must I become? We're asking about those divine qualities, that which we are, the true essence and nature of our life. And we ask, what must I become to remember that truth? Being the truth. When we can come to the vision, we then see this vision and we can get in alignment with it. So first, we be, then we become. And the vision is what pulls us to it.
Yeah, you know, Reverend Michael says that you're either pushed by your pain or pulled by your vision.
Yes.
And personally, I'd rather be pulled by my vision.
Yeah.
I've been pushed by my pain too many times. You know, and pain can become a habit.
Yeah.
Pain can become a habit. So you really want to, you know, one of the things that we're both trying to emphasize today with the openness is to really be open to your life changing.
Yeah.
And not let your butt get in the way.
Yes.
You know what I mean by that?
But come on, Reverend.
But I can't do this, but what if this happens, but, you know.
Yeah.
So simply stand in the power and the presence that's already living itself as you.
Yes.
You know, we don't manifest the vision. That's what you have to think about, is we don't manifest the vision. It already is. Think about that. It's already there waiting.
Yes.
It's already there waiting to happen. So we release and let go of the obstacles that we have placed in its way, in that vision's way. We embrace, as you talked about embrace, we embrace a new idea, embody a new belief, and we become that which we already are. Yeah. I friggin' love that.
I know.
You know, I mean, that is just so clear. You know, we embrace a new idea.
Yeah.
Oh, dang, here's the little light bulb. Here's a new idea. We embody a new belief from the new idea, and we become that which we already are. That's beautiful. And in doing so, we transform ourselves. You know, I like the word transform, but I also like the word transcend.
Yeah.
We transcend the pain. We transcend being a victim. We transcend our old stories and our old beliefs. And we transform ourselves, attuned to the vision, and suddenly we're in alignment with it.
Yeah. Reverend Soni, if I could jump in, I'm getting this visual.
You're getting it. You're getting a visual. Here we go.
See if this works. So when you said that about, you know, pain pushes till vision pulls, and I was thinking about what we talked about earlier, the track and the one-track mind, right? So I was like, okay, so you could either be like clinging to the front of the train as it's like pushing you along the track like this,
exactly.
Like pushing you, or you could be actually like the conductor in the conductor seat, right?
Right.
And being driven by that vision. But also when you said we're not the one to actually like manifest, it's already done. So I was thinking about the track. Like the track's already laid.
Yeah.
We're not out there building the track and then pushing the train. We're just sitting there as a conductor, right? Just guiding it and being pulled by that vision in alignment. And it's just allowing the train to move forward on our vision.
Yeah, and you know, today most trains are automated.
Yeah, it's just like autopilot. Bing.
Yeah, so God's really the pilot.
Yeah.
in all of
It's
this.
just allowing.
Already knows its destination,
Yeah.
but you got to get on the train to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, what's that song? People get ready. There's a train a coming. Yeah, I like that. So you got to be a passenger.
Yeah. Are you going to stand in front of it and be like, ah?
Yeah,
Or are you gonna...
really. I mean, I really see that picture.
coming.
I
It's
really
coming.
see that. So the truth is that the vision already is, right? Just like I said. And in our transformation, what happens is we come to its realization. And we can only come to its realization if we're a passenger, if we let go of our idols and anchor into source. The possibilities of your life, of our lives, are infinite. It starts with an embrace. So this week, I invite you to open your arms and embrace the newness of your life and really begin to begin.
Begin again.
And to become. Shall we go into prayer?
Let's pray.
Would you like to start?
Sure.
All right.
So again, I take that nice deep breath, opening my arms, noticing the ease at which the breath is truly breathing me. There's nothing to force or effort, just simply allowing breath to occur. And with this breath, I become completely anchored in this now present moment. As I tune my awareness, my conscious attention to that of the divine, noticing and recognizing the divine qualities of life, wholeness, peace, love, joy, creativity, knowing that this one life is the very essence and truth of all life, for there is only one thing happening. So I step aside in this moment and I allow this energy of love, this vibration of wholeness, of peace, of joy, of creativity to have its way right here, right now, in and as my life, as I stand here with open arms, ready and willing to be and become all that I already am. To be and become that one life of love in the way that only I can, for I am a unique expression of the divine, here to bring and be the love, the joy, the peace in a way that only I can, expressing this divine life through me as this unique vessel of spirit, willing to embrace, embody, become all that I am. Knowing that this vision for my life is already done. There's this spiritual prototype. There's this divine idea in the one mind. So I tune in, tap in, and connect with this divine idea and allow it to lead the way as this highest vision for my life. Dropping any old ideas of having to struggle or effort or make anything happen, I let that go. And I embrace the fullness of the divine activity living in me, as me, through me this day. Open and willing to become all that I am. As I pass my word to Reverend Soni.
And as I stand in the power and the presence of the infinite knowingness, of the infinite intelligence that is in back of all things, I know that my vision is already here. And it is through this transformation that I let go of any false idols that I may have, the residue of them in my life. I let go of the past, knowing that The only way that it can serve me any longer is to teach me to let go of it. I know that right here and right now, in this moment, that as I release and let go, I simply blow all of the obstacles that may be in my way off the track. As I ride the train to my own personal victory, I know that everything supports my higher good. And so everything is moved out of the way so that I can become who I was meant to be right here and right now. I know that as I release any obstacles, as I release any hidden or beliefs that no longer serve me, that they are replaced with new beliefs that I am good enough, because I am God enough.
Yes.
And so I stand in the power of that truth. It is my affirmation today. I am good enough because I am God enough, and I stand in the power of those words, knowing that my life is in order, in complete and absolute order, and that all is unfolding right now in this moment to promote, sustain, and maintain every day and every way my highest good. That is why I'm here. That is why I'm here. And so it is with a grateful heart that I continue to release. I continue to release every day anything that no longer serves my higher good. And as I do this, it is with a grateful heart, so grateful for all that I am and all that I bring to this planet as myself through grace and embrace. And so I release this prayer, my word, into the perfect universal law, knowing that the law always says yes.
Yes.
It always says yes. It always says yes. I stand in the power of yes, the place of grace, by saying Shalom, Hamdalela, Ashe, Namaste. This prayer is done. I leave it knowing it is so, and so it is. Amen, amen, amen.